These are some deep cuts, in my opinion, and these are going to be some very different kinds of disturbing films, and I'm so excited to discuss them. So I hope that you guys will like them too, and you won't beat me up too bad in the comments just for liking what I like, right? Right? Nobody's gonna...
Instead of ruining the end of the day for everybody down here, you disgrace! You're everything that's gone wrong in this world. You're a self-consumed, no talent, mediocre piece of shit! And I've earned my right to say it!
Good evening, campers, dreamers, and babysitters, and welcome back to another Disturbing Movies list. Yes, this one is kind of an ancestor or maybe like a relative of my Disturbing Films I'm Obsessed With list. I just like this title better. I don't know. I'm going to be getting a little vulnerable on this one. I'm going to feel a bit exposed when I talk about some of these, because some of these are a little controversial in the film world. Some of these are ones that people tend to really bash, but they nonetheless mean a lot to me, and yes, they are disturbing. But before we hop into the list, I just wanted to say, if you are new here, just discovering our channel, hey, how's it going? I really appreciate you stopping by, and I hope that if you enjoy the video, you'll consider hitting that like button, help boost us up in the algorithm, as well as, if you think we deserve it, please hit that subscribe button and join our little community here. We talk about disturbing movies, we talk about horror movies, and sometimes we throw in some curveballs. So, you know, it's a fun place, I think. We're fun, right? We're all having fun? And kicking things off at my number 5 pick, we have 1998's American History X. Living a life marked by violence, neo-Nazi Derek finally goes to prison after killing 2 black youths. Upon his release, Derek vows to change. He hopes to prevent his brother Danny, who idolizes Derek, from following in his footsteps. This is truly one of those movies that I would say is pretty one of a kind. I don't really know, just from tone, approach, character, the way everything kind of falls into place, I can't really think of many movies that really made me feel the way that I felt when I watched this movie for the first time. And you know, that's something notable, that's something special, it's kind of giving it its own identity, and I think that's a big reason on why I can say with full certainty that American History X is a film that I admire for many, many reasons. I think that it's ballsy in the material it's trying to, approach. I think that it's something that, it does kind of force the audience to accept our characters for just kind of being the not so great people that they are. And you just kind of have to live with that. And you see that, even the worst of us can change. But all the sappy stuff aside, all the film appreciation shit aside, this movie also has some moments in it that are pretty traumatizing. They're rather disturbing.
Come here! You should have learned your place on the fucking basketball court.
A few of those key moments would definitely have to be the way this movie starts out. I mean, this is the one everybody talks about, but when you're watching American History X here, the scene that really is gonna sit with you is, well, the curb stomping scene. Yes, our main character, or one of our main characters, Derek here, he finds out from his little brother Danny that 2 gentlemen are trying to steal his car. And, well, Derek, he didn't like that. And Derek is also racist. And the people stealing the car are black. So it goes south pretty quick.
That's it. Jack, no! Now say goodnight.
To be completely straightforward with you, it's not even the stomping itself that really gets me. Like, that's horrible the first time you watch it, but on repeat viewings, it's those teeth when they grind against the curb. Ugh! I can't. I won't. I won't listen to that. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me. But yeah, it's memorable, and it's certainly, like I said in my opening there, a way to paint your character as pretty unlikable. And yeah, you just kind of gotta join in and see what else the film delivers after that. Later on, after committing those heinous acts, Derek ends up going to prison. And unfortunately for him, Derek, it's Edward Norton. He's a pretty good looking dude, I guess. And they take a liking to him. And unfortunately, Derek is SA'd. It is pretty rough, and there's like no nudity. It's not super graphic like we've gotten with some of these other lists. But it is, impactful. Wow. Pause. But stepping beyond that, of course, I have to talk about the final piece to this movie, kind of the kicker, the button that they leave you off on. Huge spoiler here. But yes, at the end of the film, Derek's little brother Danny, he's finally kind of seeing the light a little bit. He's leaving this neo-Nazi bullshit behind him, and he's thinking about, hey, I'm going to do something with my life. I'm going to make a change for the better. Unfortunately, some people that he was beefing with earlier in the movie, well, they weren't done beefing. And yes, Derek goes to drain the main vein, and as he turns around, he is gunned down in the urinal. And it's a gut punch, dude. Like, it is seriously one of those endings that's just like, oh my fucking god, I cannot believe we just went through all of this. We watched these characters literally like change their entire like point of view and way that they live their lives, only to have it end like this. It's just, it's that ironic, twisted poetry of it all. It sucks, but also it makes for a very disturbing and memorable film. Like, overall, we're not dealing with, little soft topics here. We're talking about racists and neo-Nazis and just all these terrible groups of people and ideologies, and it's rough. I mean, the director here, Tony Kaye, dude literally just came out here, just one and done it, and made an all-time classic. Granted, from what I understand, he had a terrible time making this movie, and that's why he's not making any more, and he might have lost his mind a little bit. Jury's still out on that. Point being, American History X is a disturbing film that I highly recommend you check out if you can handle the topics discussed. And coming in at my number 4 pick, we have 1992's Man Bites Dog. A film crew follows a ruthless thief and a heartless killer as he goes about his daily routine. But complications set in when the film crew lose their objectivity and begin lending a hand. Yeah, I know. From the people who have seen this film, we've really just kind of hit the gas pretty hard. It's jumping from American History X to Man Bites Dog is it's leaps and bounds above in the disturbing department. For some of it, this film, man, is one that fascinates me. It's a lot like how I feel about The House that Jack Built, where that film, it's something of a character study that I just really love. And I think it kind of makes the disturbing elements a bit more consumable. This does the exact same thing. Although the edge that this one has is that it has this kind of pseudo-documentary film crew approach and feel. And it, on one hand, makes it feel a bit more real and disgusting and grimy and awful, but it also adds this kind of element of detachment. It's really weird to say. It makes this almost feel like crime scene footage, I guess is the best way I could put it. Where this movie really sets itself apart in the disturbing department, though, when it comes to the acts you actually see, is in the violence, for sure. There's definitely some SA stuff in this one, too. It's pretty visceral, but really this film prides itself on these random satirical acts of violence that these characters are committing. We see people getting gunned down, we see people getting their heads, and we see all kinds of stuff. And the weird part is I wouldn't necessarily say that this is like the goriest movie I've ever seen. It's just really violent. Like, there's just a lot of, horrible acts while our character smiles and just discusses his daily routines with us. It's quite visceral. I mean, one scene that really sticks out to me is there's one where a child is death, which it's very uncomfortable. I always hate whenever children are brought into these films, and unfortunately, that's a very, very popular topic for these videos. Beyond that, the other real standout moment for me as far as the disturbing content goes is when our characters, the film crew and all, decide to pay this couple a visit. They're just fooling around on the kitchen table. And well, these guys, they pull the boyfriend off, and you can pretty much guess what happens. It's really elongated, and it's really foreign and strange, and just it's one of those scenes that will always scar me, because it's just something where it's just like everything feels wrong about this situation. Everything is wrong about this situation. Nonetheless, this is still a movie that I find very ahead of its time in its presentation and the way that they're kind of, bringing this story forward. This is part of like that new French extremity kind of stuff, and like it's definitely there. It's one of those ones that gets brought up a lot when people are mentioning disturbing movies. I completely understand why. This isn't something that I could say that I go back to very often, but I would be lying if I said that this isn't a movie that I've thrown on every once in a while when I really need to get in the headspace to write a character who's just demented. And again, has that kind of cunning charmingness to him. It's very strange. But this, The House of Jack Built, again, very much in the same category for me. But I could totally understand why this would be way too much and way too over the edge for many people. And taking my number 3 slot, we have 2013's Only God Forgives. Julian, a drug smuggler thriving in Bangkok's criminal underworld, sees his life get even more complicated when his mother compels him to find and kill whoever is responsible for his brother's recent death. I know some of you are really just like, really, bro? Cringe. That this movie sucks. I get it. And I don't understand why, but this is a movie that I absolutely adore. I, like many of you probably who are out there, really enjoyed Nicholas Winding Refn and Ryan Gosling's first team up with Drive. I was kind of really taken by that film. It's still one of my favorite films. But this was a step too far for some people. And I will admit, when I first saw this movie, I was not a fan. This was certainly something that I was very disappointed by.
You want to fight?
But strangely, I just kept coming back to it. I kept trying to find the meaning, trying to understand what all the symbolism, what all of these kind of messages mean in this film, what are all the representations. There's a lot going on in this movie under the surface, and truly it's one of the few films that's gone from something I would say, never watch this, it's totally garbage, to now saying, hey, if you want to experience something kind of strange, very brutal, and at times very disturbing, Only God Forgives is one of my favorite experimental films. So besides this movie just being really seedy, dealing with a lot of things from underage prostitution, trafficking, things like that, this movie is also very, very violent. And if you know anything about Nicholas Winding Refn, he loves his splatter, he loves his gore, and it's in here, because this one, it really goes for it when it comes to any type of violence in here. So people are meant to bleed in this movie. They are meant to virtually explode at times. Because, yeah, there's fist fights that result in these massive, ugly bruises and welts and seeping, pussy little things on people's faces. And then it turns into things where people are getting their arms chopped off. People are getting their brains. It's just about every single way you could think about, a gang member, a mafia boss, or somebody like that, just whacking somebody. It's all that. And then they kind of add this element of this character of Chang, who's kind of this very strange, dare I say, otherworldly character who kind of is this, he deals out the judgments, he deals out the punishments. We only see the aftermath of what he does to his brother, Julian, our main character's brother. And it's pretty gruesome. It's definitely a memorable scene. The gore in this movie is top notch. There's nothing here that looks kind of goofy. It's all very, very, in your face, very well crafted. And then there's also this sequence where one of the people who works with Julian is being interrogated by Chang, and he ends up taking these metal chopsticks, jams them into his legs, jams them into his hands, and then finishes them off by jamming one through his ear. Holy shit, it's a very, very rough scene. Very, very highly stylized film, extremely stylized movie, but nonetheless very interesting, very introspective. There's a lot of, like I said earlier, messages throughout this film that I'll be decoding probably for the rest of my time watching it. And to me, it is kind of one of those rare movies. It's one of those ones that I hated at first, but now I really can't get enough of it. I enjoy Only God Forgives. I know that I'm kind of in a world of my own with that, but hey, it's my list. It's my channel. If you disagree with me, that's fine. Listen up, it is time to get serious, because whether we like it or not, this new digital world we find ourselves living in, it's full of danger. And arguably one of the biggest ones affected 1.35 billion people alone last year. This is all to blame on those stinky, dirty data brokers. Yes, those crooks and criminals will stop at nothing to get a hold of our sweet, sweet data. But fear not, because that is where our friends over at Aura come into play. I was so excited to bring Aura on as a sponsor because this is a service that I not only believe in, but I've been a subscriber to for a little over a year now. With the help of Aura, we can continue creating and growing, all with the reassurance that they have our backs. Aura alerts me if they find my phone number, email, or even my social security number on the dark web. They're going to let me know fast if anyone tries to use this information to access, say, my credit or bank accounts. Aura also offers up to $5 million in identity theft insurance should the worst case scenario happen. You can go to my link, aura.com/splattercast, to try 14 days for free. That'll be enough time for Aura to find out if any of your personal data has been exposed. You'll learn about it before one of these companies are forced to notify you. Again, huge thank you to the folks over at Aura for that discount. We hope that you will take advantage of it and keep yourself protected, keep some reassurance in your back pocket, and yes, take control of your data once and for all. And taking my number 2 spot, we have 1984's Threads. The effects of a nuclear holocaust on the working class city of Sheffield, England, and the eventual long-term effects of nuclear war on civilization. This is a TV movie. This was just made for television. There's really quite a lot of very interesting ideas, very interesting concepts, and at times very disturbing concepts and realizations that come when you're dealing with this subject matter. And Threads kind of just shows it all. It doesn't really shy away from the distressing parts, and that's really where a lot of people, I think, put this on the disturbing angle for it, because not only is it just something that has, again, a lot of very deep, upsetting imagery. In fact, it's very realistic in its depiction of everything. I can't say for certain, because I'm not an expert when it comes to strategy or warfare or anything, but This, to me, it feels very uncanny. It feels like something like would be a Black Mirror episode nowadays, where it's like we just get to kind of peer into a world that hopefully never comes, because what they experience is very grueling. It's very detailed. It's very much just kind of going through the stages of what happens after we drop a bunch of bombs on each other. It's very, very harrowing stuff. The standout scenes, obviously, would probably be anything where the people are suffering from radiation sickness, poisoning. There's a lot of that, and you kind of just watch people slowly dissolve and fall apart. It's really, really brutal. But the thing that really sets this one apart, too, is that they don't really stray too far away from the reality of the situation, that life would still go on. At one point, we see a woman having to deliver a baby by herself, and that is excruciating. It's very, very tough to watch. It's something that little young man Dylan there was certainly not prepared for. You don't see, like, all her bits and stuff, but you it's still pretty gruesome, and watching it today, it's like, oh yeah. I mean, my son wasn't born in a barn. Where am I going with this? This is a good one. I love this movie. I really do. I think that it's definitely one I would recommend, even if you are a bit squeamish, because again, I think it's very unique. This is like on the lower side as far as like Man Bites Dog, but still very similar in presentation in a lot of ways. So yeah, if you like this, maybe work your way up to Man Bites Dog, but this is definitely, I wouldn't say this is too aggressive of a place to start. And finally, coming in at my number 1 pick, we have 2015's The Lobster. In a dystopian near future, according to the laws of the city, single people are taken to the hotel, where they are obliged to find romantic partnership within 45 days, or they are transformed into beasts and sent off into the woods. Like I said, guys, we were going to pick some controversial films here, and The Lobster is certainly one of those. Many people find this movie to be too weird, too messed up, too goofy, and they just really don't like it. Me, this is a movie that I fell in love with the second I walked out of the theater. The second my first viewing was over, I wanted to watch it again. I adore The Lobster. I think that this movie is incredible black comedy. I think that this is just really inventive, twisted, dark, almost fairy tale-like storytelling that we're dealing with here, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the somberness. I appreciate the dullness that's in this film, and yeah, it kind of shocked me when I found out that there were plenty of people who considered this film rather disturbing, because I never found that. I think that this is a very beautiful film. I think that it has a lot to say about people and just how we are and how we interact and what it means to, you know, find your mate, find your partner. And it's got a lot to say that. And I really love it. But also, let's be honest, it's got some messed up stuff in there as well. There's definitely a couple of key scenes that, yeah, they'll f up a little bit. Right off the top of my head, there's just this very strong sense of you're going to be uncomfortable through a lot of what's going on in this film. There's this kind of ritual that they kind of use at the hotel to kind of, I guess, stimulate the men so that way they will hopefully be more outgoing to find a sexual partner. And it's where this maid character comes in and just grinds right on Colin Farrell's crotch, and it's supposed to just arouse him. It's super strange. It's very uncomfortable, and we have to watch it several times. But really, where the stuff gets just that's the uncomfortable stuff. What gets very screwed up is Colin Farrell's character's brother went through this process, and he was unsuccessful. So he was turned into a dog, and Colin Farrell now takes care of the dog. That's his brother. Well, at one point, he matches up with somebody out of desperation who's this just horrible witch of a woman. And he wakes up one morning to her saying, "Hey, I killed your brother." And we all know what that means. That means that she murdered the dog. And it's like, oh my God, that's awful. How terrible. Well, then they show the dog's corpse, and it's sad as shit, man. It's really fucked. I hate it. I hate it every time I watch it. And beyond that, there's some other really offhanded, very strange, like, torture methods that we get to witness at times. There's a part where John C. Reilly, who plays a character here, I won't say why, but he's being shamed, and they make him, in the middle of his breakfast, stick his hand in a toaster. That's his punishment for what he did. It's awkward, it's strange, oddly very unsettling, because everybody just acts like, yeah, this is what you do when you screw up. Like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Oh, and beyond that, I also forgot there's the movie just opens with straight up just something awful and tragic and disturbing. This woman just pulls up out of a car and just, like, you know, ices a couple of ponies just right then and there, just starts shooting animals, and you don't know why. And we never get it explained, but it's extremely traumatic and a really gut-punchy way to start the film. And the movie ends in a way that I will not spoil, but it is it's pretty daunting, and I think about it a lot, and I wonder, every time I watch this, I think that a different decision is made. And it's a movie that I would love to dissect and go into a lot deeper and talk about all the messaging. Of course, this video, we just have to highlight some of the disturbing points of it, but this has really just stuck out to me as a film that was important, and I think it shaped a little bit of who I am as far as, like, what I find funny and how I can find the most oddball, weird shit also heartwarming, as well as disturbing, as well as just pure insanity. I mean, like, I know I'm kind of just rambling here, but in my brain, if you've seen the film, it all just kind of makes sense, because it's truly an enigma. I don't think there's many other movies like this, unless it's being made by yours truly, Yorgos Lanthimos, the director of this, who also did Poor Things, which is great, The Favorite, Killing of a Sacred Deer, which I mentioned many lists ago. It's something very special to me, and I hope that if this video does anything, even if you agree with me where it's not the most disturbing thing, I hope you'll give it a shot, because it's certainly odd, and in a lot of ways, I guess, yes, can be very unsettling. Okay, well, if you made it this far, thank you. I really appreciate it, because that is the end of our list. And yeah, this one, again, very kind of nerve-wracking. This is very personal, because, again, I know that a majority of these films are not very well liked, and dare I say some of them aren't even all that great, but they are movies that nonetheless I really enjoy, and they are very disturbing, each in their own little way. I think that it's kind of fun when I can kind of pick and choose where we're going, because it just breaks it up a little bit, I think. Hopefully. Maybe you guys can tell me. But yeah, if you made it this far, again, thank you so much. If you could hit that like button and get this video boosted up in the algorithm, it would mean the world to me, of course. And if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button if you feel we deserve it. I'm really looking forward to unveiling the next disturbing horror movies list. It is the Human Centipede list, and yeah, there's been some stuff I've watched. There's been some things I've experienced. Kind of definitely why I staggered this one up a peg, because yeah, I went in a little ballsy with that one, and I paid the price for it, because I just needed to go back and say, well, I want to give them something, but I just need a break. So yeah, we'll discuss that in great detail. So there's a teaser. So anyway, guys, that's all I got for you. So thank you so much again. And until next time, I'm Dylan Newell. And remember, stay scared.
Do the horror shit, gonna do it live. Cause Splattercast kick it every day they live. Splattercast, slash ass. Splattercast, slash ass. Splattercast, slash ass. Splattercast, slash ass. ass, gonna slash your ass.